Yeah guys, it's James from Bucks Downhill. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the newer TT560 Speedlite for DSLRs. So I was hunting around on Amazon not too long ago for an inexpensive Speedlite just to maybe add a little more to my photos. Neewer is a company who do fairly low budget yet decent priced camera gear. The Speedlite is one of their newer products that they've installed into their lineup. A main reason for adding a Speedlite into your lineup is to add more creative control to your photos. It means that you can bounce light and project light from different parts of the image, giving a whole new look to all your photos. The Speedlite runs on 4 AA batteries, so you can't really charge it up from the Speedlite. However, I just use rechargeable batteries because in the long run it's a lot cheaper. The design is pretty basic for a Speedlite. It looks fairly similar to the kind of thing you'd see come on from Canon and things. However, there's no screen on the back. It's just a couple very basic settings to adjust. First of which being the power. There are 8 different power modes, and so you can range between all of them using the plus and minus buttons. This means that depending on how close you are to your subject, you can choose the intensity of light that you'd like to be using. And the next of the settings is the mode, so you can either go in the normal mode where you just have it on top of your camera, connected via the single contact hook shoe. This means that as soon as you press the shutter button, the flash will go off. The only limitation with this is that you're only going to be able to bounce light from one place, which is wherever your camera is. You could also set it up with a wireless triggering system for maximum creative control. However, if you don't have the wireless triggering system, you can always just use the slave mode, where as soon as it sees another flash go off, the flash will go off at the same time. You can do test shots and things as well using the test button. This isn't a feature I use a whole lot, to be honest. It's probably mainly just to see how much power you want and if it's going to be blinding whoever. There's a charging indicator, so after you use the flash it takes a small moment for the charge to rise back up again so you can use it again. When you first power it on, it will usually take between, I'd say, 10 and 30 seconds just to power up and get heated up, and then depending on what power you're on will depend on how long it would take to charge up. So if you're on the lowest setting, you can use it with burst mode and things and do quite a few consecutively after the other. However, if you bring it all the way up to the top, then you're not going to be able to burst it. It's going to take a lot longer to power up, so you need to keep that in mind for doing sports photography like what I do. The Speedlite is rotatable, so you can move it around 180 degrees. You can also move it 90 degrees in the other direction. This means that you can really bend it around, and I like personally for portraits and pictures of faces to bounce it off walls, as I find that it diffuses the light really nicely and it gives a really nice even skin tone to the face. I use it a lot when shooting with families and groups of people, but it's also great for just singularities, just to really use the light to your full effect. On the top it does have a built-in diffuser. I personally can't see a huge difference when using this, however I'll still use it just for the minute difference. Also there's a small white reflector, and so if you are shooting in a place where it might not have a ceiling, you can use the white reflector and the light will automatically bounce off that into your subject. This is great for if you're shooting possibly outside, and I used this a couple of nights back and it actually worked really well, and I got some nice family photos with it. The Speedlite comes in this kind of silk microfiber cloth bag, which is great. It's great to carry it around in, and it means that it's not going to get broken. It is cheap and plasticky, but you have to remember that you are spending around £29 for this, so don't be expecting the better build quality that you'd get from something like a Canon Speedlite, which can be more than twice the price. The only downside to this Speedlite is that you can't really use it for any shutter speeds over roughly around 320. This is because you start to get gradients and cut-offs where the shutter has opened and closed and it hasn't been open enough long enough to get the light from the Speedlite in. You end up with having a huge black bar at the bottom of your image. So if you are capturing something with a lot of speed and motion, this might not be the best Speedlite for you. Also, the distance that the Speedlite can reach is decent, however, I'd say if you're shooting anything in the distance, there's no point in using it. And I really would say the maximum range is probably something around 6 meters. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'd say from using it and experience. So if you're looking for a cheap and easy way to dramatically improve the quality and production value of the images you're shooting on your DSLR, I would definitely recommend the Neewer Speedlite. I've loved using it so far. I've had it for just over 6 months now, and I've definitely really enjoyed using it, and I would look for Neewer again if I wanted to buy another Speedlite to maybe add something else to my setup, and so I could bounce light and produce light from different points in my image, and that I'd really like to play around with in the future. If you want to see more videos on photography on Bucks Downhill, give this video a like and maybe leave a comment below, and we can see if we can do that for you. As well as video, we do take a lot of photos. You can find them on our Instagram, which is, here you go, on the blue sofa. You may notice this is quite a different background to what it usually is. I'm actually currently on holiday right now and still trying to get all these videos out. I'm on my last week out here, so hopefully after this video, this should be the last review, and then we can have some nice edits for the next couple of weeks. But then we will have GCSEs on for most of us. So again, I'm sorry if there's a lack of videos or a lack of interesting videos that are coming out. It's just because we've got a lot of other things to do right now. But we will still try our best to keep the weekly videos uploading and keep it going, because we've been doing it for over half a year now, which I'm actually really stoked on, and I hope you guys are too. So hopefully I've covered everything that you wanted to know about the Neewer TT560 Speedlite. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time. Bye!